Yeah. I was literally about to do my Spanish and take my ass to bed. And then I realized I didn't do a live today. So what's up? You see, I'm yawning and getting teary eyed, which means I need to go to bed. Oh my gosh. And I probably can hear my daughter snoring. She's laying right here next to me. Knocked out. But I was gonna do a quick live. I might start this live over because I keep yawning and I just feeling like I look crazy because I hate this lighting. But I was gonna talk about my lock tips because yesterday was my lock anniversary, and the live that I did went to a lot of different conversations, and it wasn't really focused on my hair. So I was gonna give some tips, and I'm officially been locked for 5 whole years now. And honestly, the 5 years have been rough. And I gotta get better at really taking care of my hair. With that being said, I will share some tips. My first would be if you're thinking about locking your hair. Hi, Mary. Welcome. How are you doing today? Hi, Tihanda. I hope that's how you say your name. Welcome. Hi, Big Mama. Big Mama is so funny to me. Just because I'm from the 80s, so Big Mama has a different meaning than what it does now. But what's up? I am good. I'm tired, honestly, and I was gonna just do some Spanish lessons and go to bed. And then I was like, oh, I didn't do a live today. And I usually like to be outside in the sun. My daughter's snoring here next to me, so I was just gonna share some of my lock tips because yesterday was my lock anniversary and I locked my hair 5 years ago. And I did a live yesterday, but I didn't get to share any tips because the live just kind of took over for the questions. So I was just gonna share some tips. So that's what I was doing. If you're thinking about locking your hair, I would say just do it. Don't overthink it. I spent so many years, like 5 years prior, researching because I really wanted to have sister locks, and I spent way too much time researching. And I would say just do it. Do some research, do some R&D, but just make a decision. If I was to tell you anything, I would say go bigger. Don't go small. I have one small lock. Here it is. This is my smallest lock. And I actually intertwined it with another one because it's literally hanging on by like a string at the roots. So I'm glad that I didn't do sister locks. And mine are mixed. They're medium to large. And I probably, if I was to start over, I'd probably do them all large because they get so nice and thick at the roots. So I would say don't overthink it. Do bigger. Bigger is better. And when you first lock your hair, so there's 3 different ways that you can lock your hair. You can do braids. You can do 2-strand twists, which is what I did. I just 2-strand twist my hair one day, and I never took them out. And you can also do what are they called? Like comb spirals. I don't know why I can't think of the name of the spirals. Hi Alton, hi Coyote. I don't even know if that's how you say your name, but what's up? So those are the 3 ways that you can start locks. I just did 2-strand twists one day. I stood and I did all my parts the way that I wanted them, and a 2-strand twist. And a lot of people tell you to just like leave your hair. I would say wash and wet your hair every single day. That's what I did. And they locked really quickly. And the phases that you go through with the budding and then the dropping and the locking, I'm telling you, water is your best friend. Water and conditioner will lock your hair so quick, and you'll quickly get out of the immature phase and get into the budding phase really fast. And then after they bud and they mature, the drop phase is really quick. I would also let you know to not retwist your hair often. I retwist my hair once a year. And I barely don't be wanting to do that when I do it. Now, before locking my hair, and I would see other people with locks, when I would see people with the styles and how you could see all of their parts, I'd be like, oh, if I ever lock my hair, I'm always going to keep it nice and neat and organized. And I don't like the thick roots look when I would see it on other people. But since locking my hair, I hate when my hair is like freshly retwisted and you can see the parts. I like my roots to be thick, and the more that you retwist your hair, the thinner it gets at the roots. So don't retwist your hair a lot. One thing that people don't tell you is your roots, if you don't keep it retwisted, they will marry together. So they're like at the roots, they can be like 4 or 5 of them like stuck together. So a good tip is every day when I get in the shower, I drench my hair. And then when I get out, I pull each one apart. Like your parts are never going to go anywhere, even though your roots are thick and you can't physically see your parts, but like from afar. But when you part your hair, see what I'm saying? Like your roots, your parts that you have are never gonna go anywhere, but sometimes they can be like married together. And if you're not careful and you don't separate them, then these can turn into one, or they can join together, marry together. So you have to rip them apart, which can hurt if you don't do them wet. So that's why it's important to wet your hair. And I just soak them in the shower and I rip them apart after I get out. Wash your hair often. I wet my hair and drench it every day and condition it every day. And I wash it at least once a week. Water is just going to be your best friend when you have locks, because your locks are like roots to a tree. And obviously you're not going to drench a plant every single day, but your hair, if you don't keep it moisturized and conditioned, they're gonna feel so dry and brittle, and they're also gonna look dry and brittle. So it's important to hydrate them. A lot of people like to mist. I don't. I'd rather just drench them really good, and I let them air dry. I know a lot of people think that your hair is gonna smell like mildew. My hair smells amazing, and I just let it air dry. It doesn't take takes a few hours to be fully dry, but I wear my hair down. I don't style it a lot, so there's that. Um, the other thing is, I'm not the greatest at covering my hair when I go to sleep, and I don't specifically choose a lot of different certain things to wear. So the bottoms of my locks are intertwined with a lot of lint. If you can see, like that lint. And that comes from, one, my hair is getting longer and longer and longer. So I need to get like a bigger scarf or a bigger bonnet when I go to sleep. But I literally just sleep on my locks. I'm not the greatest at covering them up. I don't care about the lint. And you know what? There's really nothing you could do about the lint. Everybody that has locks has lint because it comes from your shirts or your hoodies or your sweatshirts or like things that you wear, your pillowcase. It doesn't matter the precautions that you do, you will have lint in your hair intertwined. It's just part of the lock journey. So a lot of people just dye it. There's no sense of trying to pick it out because when you pick it out, you're unraveling the lock. So you can either leave it or dye it. I don't care to dye it. I just leave it. It is what it is. Another thing that people don't tell you about locks is, for some reason, and it doesn't matter how often you keep them moisturized or conditioned, because I condition my hair every day and I soak them every day, the bottoms, and it also could be for me personally, I play with the ends of my hair a lot, but the bottoms of your locks, they get like so dry and then they literally will break off. I pulled so many ends off of my locks and it just happens. I'm trying to find one that I just did the other day. So yeah, I pulled one off. I don't know if you could get it good on camera. And some people like the curly end lock, but I had another one. I don't know where it is. I literally just pulled it off, but for some reason the ends will literally start, they'll get so dry that they'll just break off. But I also had one, now I'm trying to show you and I can't find it. But this is also from sleeping on them, like laying on them. Damn, where is it? I have one right now that's like, it'll start thinning out in the middle of them. I can't find it. But it'll start thinning. Like you can have a nice thick one, like this is nice and thick. And then sometimes they'll start getting really thin. So I don't really know what that comes from. I'll just break it off. I'll play with it so much that I'll break it off. Or maybe this is the one I'm looking for. And also, you can't really see it that good on camera. You can see all the lint there. But this one is starting to get like really thin just in this part. So I wouldn't be surprised if it deattaches and breaks off. but there are like locticians who you can crochet it back. I just leave it. But you can crochet it back and fix them if you want, or just get better at covering up your hair, or like doing a deep condition. Well, that's what I was supposed to do. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow. But I want to do a hot oil treatment and a deep condition and leave it on overnight. But I pretty much just leave my hair. I feel like with locks, it's very low maintenance. And the secret is just water and condition. And the less the less you reach twist, the better. So those are my tips. If you have any questions, I will be happy to answer them. If I had to share the things that I didn't know about locks that nobody tells you, number one for me is nobody tells you after you lock your hair that doing a simple hairstyle is damn near impossible, and that you will need to take Advil or Tylenol to put your hair in a ponytail. I, I think it's because they're locked and they're hanging that when you pull them up, the tension, the tension that you have gives you a headache. At least it gives me a headache. So I don't know how people do like those styles, the updos and stuff. They look nice. But if I had to sleep, I wouldn't be able to sleep with that. And then when I do a ponytail, I can't make it the whole day with a ponytail. Even when I do it like a half, if I put my hair half up in a ponytail, I can't make it through the whole day. And that's what people don't tell you. And a lot of times, if I know I'm gonna do a ponytail, I'll take a Motrin or something. I'm like, damn, that's what people don't tell you, that when you lock your hair, now you gotta prevent yourself from getting a headache. And I think it's just the tension of like your roots, everything's different. So you can't really do updos. That's why a lot of people that have locks always wear them down, because just the tension of your roots and everything changes. And then for me, the longer my locks get, the more my neck hurts. My neck hurts the longer that they get, especially right after the shower. I soak them, they're so heavy. But I'm also learning that everybody's hair is different. So my hair, the density is really thick. So my hair is just naturally heavy. Like with my locks, they're heavy. So when they're wet, they're 10 times heavier. But there are some people that don't have as dense hair as I do, and their locks are very light. And even when they wet them, they're not heavy. And the longer they get, they don't bother them. So it really just depends on your grade of hair and how long they are. Because when my hair was like in a bob, like this up here to my face, they didn't bother me. And I was like, oh, I can't wait till they get longer. But the longer they get, the more my neck hurts. And the more I want to do like updos and styles, but I can't because I be having a headache. It's too much tension. So that's what people don't tell you. And the marrying of the roots, that was something I learned the hard way. So I have to be mindful to take my time and pull them apart after I wet them, so the roots are not marrying together, because I don't retwist my hair. And as you can see, look at this. And some people don't like to have the extra hair out. Some people will take the extra hair that is just gonna grow out as especially if you don't retwist your hair a lot. Some people will take this and start a new lock. Like they'll twist it or braid it and then they'll have like little baby locks or something. I don't got time for that. I just let my hair be how it is. I like the thickness. I like my roots. I like being able to do different things, but I pretty much just wear my hair like this. Just like slick down my edges. I tried, I think there was one extra hair that I had on the sides and I had started like a baby lock, but I just leave it. I just gel them down and go about my business. But that's just me. Other than that, um, that's what it's like. Those are my tips. It's really not much to it to lock your hair. Oh, the other thing is, if you're thinking about locking your hair, don't get so caught up in like the ugly stage or the ugly phase. My philosophy is you can't have an ugly stage unless you're ugly. And it's hair. Can't nothing be ugly about it. I know people don't want to do the short look or however it is. But it's locks. I'm telling you, if you wet your hair every single day, like drench it will lock so quickly. It did not take long for my hair to lock, and it's gonna be frizzy. It just is what it is, but it will grow out. I don't palm roll my locks. I've never have. And I could show you pictures from the beginning. My hair was like super frizzy, and it was just a lot of frizz. It's just over time as they mature, and the more that you moisturize them and keep them conditioned, it's just going to interlock into his hair. So I don't take my hands and roll them together and palm roll all the way down. I never have. And you don't have to. That's something that people will try to tell you to do. Is, oh, you gotta palm roll them to get rid of the frizz. No, you don't. I've never palm rolled my hair. As they've gotten mature, the hair is just gonna get better at interlocking. Oh, that's not interlocking, but just lock. And I don't interlock either. If you don't know what interlocking is, it's where you take your lock and you make like a hole where the root is at, and you push it through, and you pull your hair through a couple different ways. And that is another way of how you can retwist your hair by interlocking it. But I don't like that. I don't do anything to it. I just let it be. So my hair is not free forms because I took my time to part each part, and I did 2-strand twists. So I know where all my parts are, but see, as you can see, they're not perfect and they're not supposed to be, but they're locks. With that being said, they're not free form. Free form is where you just let your hair be like in an afro, or you just stop doing your hair and you just let it do its own thing, and however it locks, it locks. I wanted my hairs to be specific, so that's why I said my locks are all different sizes. I don't have one or two that are the same size. They're all different sizes. I have one teeny tiny one right here. This is my smallest lock. I also don't know how many locks I have. I never counted them. I'm just not that precise. Like, I don't really care. I just did my own thing. But there are some people that are always like, how many locks do you have? I'm like, I don't know. I never counted them. And I didn't care to. I literally just parted my hair the way that I wanted to and 2-strand twisted and left it. And here we are 5 years later. So those are my tips. If you don't have any questions, I'll just wrap it up. All right, I guess we have no questions. So, with that being said, I will leave you with my, yeah, those are all my tips. Can't really think of anything else. If I do, I'll do a part 2. So here are my heartfelt messages that are near and dear to my heart, that come directly from my life experiences, trauma, abuse, all that good stuff. And I hope that it provokes thought and makes you want to take action into your life, some way, somehow. Number 1, don't let anybody label you. Those who try to label you want you to live in lack and not your purpose. They see something in you that they don't want you to see in yourself, which is usually your gift, the thing that makes you unique, the thing that makes you stand out. They don't want you to activate that and live in that, because they know you will live a life of luxury, and they want you to live a life of lack and limitations. So they label you so that you will live and lead with the label. And in return, you will live a life of lack and limitations. And you were born to live a life of purpose. So don't let anybody label you, including yourself. Okay? 2, don't let anybody put you in a box. Don't ever, 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 ever let anybody put you in a box. Those who try to put you in a box is simply because they cannot get out of theirs. And if you allow somebody to put you in a box, they will then, in return, try to put you in a ditch. Ask me how I know. And 3, don't forget to turn your life into a lifestyle. And you do that by taking your life into your own hands and participating in your own rescue and saving yourself, because absolutely, positively, nobody's coming to save you. You must save yourself. And if you take time to tap into your life more and out of the world less, you in return will save yourself from living the consequence of the life that your parents want you to live, the life that society tries to create for you to live, and the life that the school systems and the job systems try to mold for you to live within. You were not born to simply work a job, pay bills, and die. No, sir. No, ma'am. You were born to live a life of abundance, prosperity, and a life of luxury, because it is your birthright. You were born for a purpose. And the way to figure out what your purpose is by figuring out what problem you were born to solve. When you figure out what problem you were born to solve, you will automatically live in your purpose, and you will automatically live a life of abundance, prosperity, and a life of luxury. We were all born to solve a problem and make the world better while we're here, and more importantly, while we're gone. Leave a legacy. So that's how you turn your life into a lifestyle. I hope that I helped. I hope that I encourage you to lock your hair. I hope I encourage you to start faster. Don't wait. Don't do as much research as I did. Just do it, man. So I hope that you have a great rest of your nights. And don't forget that you are both an endangered species and a limited edition. So start acting like it.